Okay. Can somebody bring me in here with some energy?
Mass.
Did you say mass or ass?
Mass.
It's part of how we make the universe. Mass. Mass.
Mass
It's
is
how
related.
we make the universe.
Catholic mass. Catholic mass. Still how we make the universe.
Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
Hi, and welcome to My Top Everything. I'm Marian.
I'm Kara.
And I'm Mara.
And we're three best friends who love to argue. So we thought we'll open up our arguing for the auditory pleasure of everyone we can force to listen to this. Did you want to laugh, Kara, at me saying the words auditory?
I
Auditory
will definitely
pleasure.
laugh at auditory. Yeah,
What about auditory pleasure?
I did giggle. Silently, I giggled at that, yes.
Today's topic is top 3 pet peeves. Now, Mara, how many pet peeves did you come up with?
I made myself stop after 10.
Yes.
I have 6.
12. Wait, hold on.
12,
Oh my
Jesus.
God. Wait, Mara could do this podcast on her own, probably. We don't need to be here for
We
this.
should have that be an
I
episode
know.
where she just talks to herself
One day
the whole
we'll
time.
have it. One day as bonus content. we'll have solo episodes, and Mara's will be extra credit. Top 10 other biggest pet peeves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The list definitely doesn't stop at 10.
Yeah. Who would like to go first? Anyone feel?
Yeah, I do. It's my turn. I'll go first.
Great.
So I guess the least offensive on this narrowed down list of 3 is...
Least offensive to you. I
Yeah.
thought you were... I was like, least offensive.
Who
are we offending with your pet peeve?
Me. Every one of these offends me. I'm going to go with people not wiping their pubes off the public toilet. We all have a responsibility to do that. You use the public toilet, right? You stand up after you flush, or maybe it's already flushed because it's an automatic toilet. And then what you got to do is you got to do a courtesy look. Did one of my pubes fall off while sitting or while going up, and it just like falls off? I don't know how they fall off, but sometimes when you stand up,
I wish we had a picture.
Has had a fucking pube fall out.
What do you mean, Kara?
all
Kara.
the time.
Are you serious?
Kara, have you ever checked your
Yeah.
toilet seat for pubes? I don't think Kara's ever checked it.
No.
I've never had a pube fall out.
Wait, Kara,
I'm
first
not
of all,
convinced.
you have pubes fall out just like hair falls out. Unless you're ripping your pubes out prematurely. And some of
No,
us may or may not do that in this podcast. It's like
Wax it
a
up.
fun thing.
I hate
Oh.
how much I'm learning about you right
Well,
now.
Kara,
I mean, I love a
everybody's
good hair
pubes
plucking.
fall out.
I will start checking, but I do not think that my pubes fall out.
What do you think happens to them?
You think
I don't
they
know.
only fall out in a safe space where they're fully contained?
I think they grow,
And
and then they're trimmed, and then
No.
they grow, and then they trim. I think that's the cycle.
No.
You think that happens to the hair on your head too?
No.
Okay.
I didn't say that.
All hair
Okay,
on
don't
your
paint me into a corner.
body falls out.
Does your arm hair fall out?
Yeah.
Does your armpit hair fall out?
Haven't you ever heard like
Does your
Yeah.
leg hair fall out?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Have you ever
It's
found
just
a leg
less
hair
noticeable.
off your body?
No, because
I'm
you're
not
so
gonna notice.
light and little. Like, no, of course you're not going to notice a leg hair. It's on the
What
ground.
about an armpit hair? What about an armpit hair?
Where are we seeing the armpit hair? The pube is
Exactly.
very specific because your
Yeah.
the JJ makes contact.
With air, first of all.
Okay.
Who's touching?
You might-
who's
when you
touching
rock
the toilet
around,
seat?
especially you, when you rock around to do your weird behind the
I don't
butt
rock
hike,
around.
you do. When you do your little, I've seen it. You take your 25 squares of toilet paper and you reach behind you like some weird ass backwards, literally like person.
Like I'm not pushing germs back up there.
No, that's not. No, because you're gonna accidentally touch your butt pubes when you go in. So
no,
the little hairs that line your asshole, butt pubes.
Yeah,
no,
yeah, you're getting your
disgusting
little butt particles on your vajayjay. First of all, secondly, you rock back and forth. When you take off your pants, when you take off your pants and you sit down, there is the possibility of pubes falling on the toilet seat.
Yeah, because maybe it's not falling off. Like maybe the hair gets on the toilet seat because when you take your pants down, it like you fling it out or something. I don't know. All I know is that every single one of us has a responsibility to be checking that and just courtesy one little square of toilet paper, wiping that shit back in.
This is a good public notice.
Mara said that to me over New Year's Eve. We went into a public bathroom to pee while we were waiting for smoothies to be made. And there was a pube hair, Kara, on the toilet. And Mara went...
I don't deny that there are sometimes pube hairs on public toilets.
Just never Kara's.
You've just never...
For one, yes. Never, ever. But also I've only seen it like a handful of times. This is not a common occurrence in my life.
You have, and I am without a doubt, you've definitely picked up somebody's pubes on
your butt.
Yeah.
I check the toilet seat before I sit down.
Okay.
I do wipe. I always use the like, my aunt, when I was like 4 or 6 or something, we went on a flight somewhere together. And I remember she scarred me because we were she definitely has OCD or something, or like is hyper aware of that. And she took me into a public toilet and I was, taking my little pants down and I was about to get on and she was like, oh my God, no. And she was like freaking out. And so she made me line the whole toilet with toilet paper. And she was like, these are disgusting. Never touch your bare body to these, blah, blah, blah. And so now every time I see a public toilet, I always get like a little paper cube thing, like a couple of them. And then I pat it. I don't directly touch.
You should be patting the door handle.
I mean, yeah, obviously everything in a public bathroom is disgusting, but I tend to check the toilet seat and like wipe it down if I see anything on there.
Perfect.
Well, you should do that after you go to the bathroom is what Mara is saying.
I have learned something new today. Yeah. Even though I'm perfect and no pubes fall out of my body.
Okay.
No. I'm sorry. All hair gets
Mara,
replaced.
how often does this happen to you?
Enough for me to have it be in the top 3 of my 20-minute
Mara,
brainstorm
I think she
session.
was asking how often your pubic hair falls out.
No, I wasn't.
Oh.
Well, I'd like to know.
No, I feel like more often than not, there's like sometimes.
This is public. Whatever you're about to say is
we
public.
already started off so hard with this. Like, we try it.
This is episode 2, you guys.
This is episode 3. Episode 3.
Is it? Okay, well.
But every time, it's just automatically.
It's always Mara.
Yeah.
It's always Mara, too.
She's bringing the heat.
I feel like sometimes you get like a spare drip of urine that sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that happens to me more often than.
Yeah. I do see a drip. Yeah, a drip or two. Or like after you flush the toilet, if it's a violent toilet, there'll be like splashback. Yeah.
And I don't want someone to go in there after me thinking that I peed on the toilet. So I'm going to wipe that off.
All right. You're very courteous. I will start doing that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good job.
That's all I ask.
Okay. So my number 3, this was difficult. What got my number 3 spot? An honorable mention would be leaving finished, to go with bathroom stuff, leaving finished TP rolls on the sink. There's somebody in this Zoom podcast who's guilty of that, especially. And I did have a very public breakdown about it once, but here's what it is if you finish the toilet paper roll and the roll, or what do you call it? The cardboard? I don't know, whatever. The cardboard part.
The roll.
If you leave it on the toilet paper holder thingy, fine. You're lazy, but fine. But it takes a special someone to take that cardboard holder off and put it on the sink and also not replace anything. So that there's just
Are you accusing me of doing this or Mara? Because I don't think I do that. Do I?
Yes. Maybe sometimes you
I think I replace
it.
it.
But why not just take it out with you then? You've gone through all the effort. And you just leave it on the sink.
I just did that today. I actually just changed out the toilet paper today in the bathroom, and I don't do... I mean, currently, 2023 Kara doesn't do that.
You do that. Oh, if you're saying in general, do you leave the cardboard holder on the sink after you're done changing it? 100%.
Yeah.
Yes. One time, the time I lost my shit, there were 3 of them. Do you remember? There were 3. And because I had said, I saw the first one, however long before that, and I said, no, not today. I am not picking that up and recycling it. I'm going to leave it there.
My limit has not been met.
And see how long. The second one came around. I thought, all right, I mean, now there's 2. Surely something happens once there's 2. And then I can't remember if the third one was on the sink or the third one just was actually on the little holder and somebody hadn't replaced it. But I did get finished peeing and I did rage out. You 2 were watching something in the living room at our very first apartment. And I remember, I think I blacked out a little, but I do remember shouting.
I remember that now.
And then you were like, what's the big deal? Which did not help at all about it. Because
what is the big deal, Marion?
You are, okay, here's the root of the pet peeve that is probably bigger. You are assuming that your time is more valuable than mine. That's the big deal. Is you're deciding that the time it takes you to pick it up and move it to the recycling bin is more valuable than me because you're waiting for someone else to do it.
I can see how you'd get there. I think that the root is that I don't notice it. It's not that I'm thinking somebody else is going to do it. It's that I just don't.
You just put it down and what do you think is going to happen? My brain. You put it down.
I don't think about it. It's like I changed the toilet paper and then in my mind, I've done, I've done the task. I've changed the toilet paper. And so it's nothing I notice.
Where do you think the cardboard goes?
It's not something I think up
your butt.
It's like not even like a thought in my mind. You see it and you're like, I can't believe
I think that's still a root.
Yeah, I agree. I agree it's rude.
It'll get figured out by someone else. Like, it disappears. It goes into a Bermuda Triangle of the sink. And it's done. But it's good to know that you don't do that anymore.
I do. I do it now. 2023 Mara does it. I live alone. I recently cleaned out 4 of them.
You live alone.
Yeah.
It's different. You're only pissing off yourself.
Yeah, and it was like it wasn't on the counter. I put it on my over-the-door storage. So
Matt does it. Matt puts it not on the sink, but by the toilet, like on the ground.
Bruh.
Oh,
yeah,
on the ground.
Killer.
I mean, your sink's tiny, so that's kind of courteous.
I mean, yes, I'd rather have it on the ground by the toilet, and then sure, whatever. But yeah, the sink's offensive. It's specifically the sink is extra offensive. So that was my honorable mention. Sorry.
Oh my God.
That wasn't even number 3?
That was an honorable mention.
I feel like that was literally like you were like, how can I pull Kara into this?
No. That's not you specifically. It's just one I think about because if I am willing, if it drives me to the point of shouting, it's probably definitely worth being in the top 3 pet peeves.
Yeah.
I'll call that one my top 3. You can go, Kara.
That's your 3?
Yeah.
That's your 3? Are you sure?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Take it at face value.
All right. It's been a podcast already. All right. So my number 3 is zipper merges. I cannot stand when there are 2 different types of people that use zipper merges. There are 2 different right ways to use a zipper merge. Either you all decide that everybody gets in both lanes and then you gently, everybody agrees that you one after the other, you kind of zipper it all together and you go, or you're coming in from another lane and you have, like, if you're coming in from an entrance to a highway, you just immediately, when those 2 white lines meet, you just got to dodge in. But there's the specific part that I drive home every freaking day from work and it's really wide. It's like 3 cars wide and it somehow narrows into 2, somehow narrows into 1, and it's so long. And you'll see people that go around this huge line of people that are stopped, and they will just continue going all the way to the end.
I'm that
until
person.
They can zipper merge. I hate it. I will move into the middle of the lane and I will block people because it makes me so mad.
The people who get in early are the problem. The people who get in early are the problem.
Not if
That's
everybody
not my
does
problem.
that. Yes, if everybody
does that, you're blocking traffic. You are eliminating the point of having 2 lanes, because now everyone is in 1 lane and traffic's backed up all the way because we're using 1 lane instead of the full 2. So like when I zip by, I'm like, dumb. Like that's not how you use a zipper lane. Like you're supposed to go to the end and then you gently merge in together. And
traffic would be a lot better if you drove all the way to the end of that. And I know people get pissed when I drive all the way to the end of it, but
that's how you're supposed to use it. And if other people don't use that, I can't help that. Like, because think about it.
I think it's not courteous that you recognize that everybody else is waiting in line. Everybody's like doing the thing, and you're the only one doing something different.
No, because there's usually 1 or 2 people also doing what I'm doing.
I think in Minnesota, this is the other thing so I live in Seattle and everybody here is from a different place, right? So you have all 50 states, a lot of international countries represented, and everybody drives different. So half the people here know how to zipper merge, half don't. And that's where that's where my anger comes from, is that nobody knows what they're doing. And we talk about it every time we get into an Uber or every time that I talk to a neighbor or something. Everybody acknowledges that driving here sucks because nobody knows some people use blinkers, some don't. Some people know how to drive, some don't. And
I will say that living in Minnesota, I feel like the majority of people do not utilize the zipper lane at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I have that internal conflict where I'm like, oh, should I just get over now? Because nobody uses it this way. Okay, so for
here's the thing though.
Yeah, zipper.
Here's the thing is if you have like 20 people merging, if only one person goes all the way around to zipper merge, that's my pet peeve. It's not that somebody utilizes a thing that's supposed to be there and everybody's supposed to use it. It's that 1 out of 20 is not doing what everybody else is doing. That's my rant.
But the thing is, also I got my voice changed. I did a little procedure and now I'm back. The thing is, like, if there are 20 cars and if everybody used the zipper lane, it would be 10 and 10. And then we go like, 1 at a time. So if there's 20 cars all in the 1 lane because they all merged early, and then there's still like 8 cars in the other lane, they should be able to use the zipper as per normal. Otherwise, you got 28 cars backed up. Like, it doesn't make sense. Even if you're one person, it does not make sense to ignore that lane just because everybody else doesn't know how to zipper. You're like showing an example of how to zipper at that point.
I'm trying to change the zippering culture 1 merge at a time.
I just want everybody to drive the same way.
Kara's like over here like, oh, it really pisses me off when 20 people are jumping off a cliff and that one person's like, hey, no, let's just get in there and be one of the 20 and we all just go off together.
That's a really exaggerated example comparison. I just want everybody to drive the same way. I like zipper merges. I think they're a very efficient traffic practice if everybody uses them the right way. I don't like aggressive drivers unless everybody's aggressive. I want everyone to drive the same way. That's the end rant.
All right. Okay. I would give your pet peeve about a 40, like a 4 out of 10. Yeah, I guess you would give Mars a 4 out of 10.
It's my pet peeve.
Yeah, but this is a competition, and I would say your pet peeve is kind of bad because it involves people not obeying traffic laws. Just to look uniform.
Well, it's not a traffic law, just for the record.
Merging a zipper, when you get the little zipper sign, that's a law.
You're not required to do it. You're not going to be pulled over.
Well, you're not going to get pulled over, but speaking of somebody who's currently studying for the driving test.
Wait, what? Why are you studying for the driving test?
For your license renewal?
To get my Minnesota license.
Oh my God.
Wait,
how long have you lived there?
I don't feel like there's a point in that question, but like 6 years. So.
Wait, so is it because you're switching states or did you let it lapse?
No, I'm switching states, but my Iowa one does expire this February.
She's being forced.
So-
She's being forced to finally get a Minnesota license after 6 years of living there. But yeah, what are you going to say about studying for it?
It's in there. They explain how to do it.
Yeah. That's because it's a traffic law.
I'll send you the...
It's not a law.
It's like yielding. When you see a sign that says yield.
That's completely different, though. I don't think it's a law. I agree that it's a best practice. How about that?
No, if there's a sign, that's how it's supposed to be done. Otherwise, it's right of way.
It's not showing a zipper. It's one lane that's like crookedy and then a straight line.
There is a zipper
that's all
line.
the sign is.
There is a zipper sign.
It's one line next to another line that's a little wobbly.
Kara,
Isn't
have you
there a
seen a
yellow
zipper?
sign?
There's literally signs that say zipper merge.
Zipper signs.
Like there are signs that specifically talk about zippering.
I've never seen these.
Probably because you're ignoring it and you're just getting into the line of 20 people.
These are everywhere, Kara.
No. I'm looking for our listeners out there. I'm looking at an orange sign that literally says zipper and then it has a zipper and then it says merge underneath. I'm used to the merge signs, which are a solid black line on the left and then a line on the right that goes up, slightly left, and then up again. That's what I'm used to.
Yeah, it's telling you to
merge, which is not zipper. Merge. I think I won that little battle.
No, you didn't, because also the zipper merge is the safest and most efficient way to merge in work zones and heavy traffics. And it literally says the route drivers you think who are merging at the last minute are actually helping with better traffic flow and safety. So
I think my other pet peeve is that to do with this is that when I'm in downtown Seattle, there's a lane on the far right that will eventually become an exit. And there's people that ride it all the way until it splits and they could have gotten over earlier. So then they are waiting in traffic to get into the left lane, which doesn't exit. And then they make all of us that are in line to use the exit. They make us wait. And that's, I think, where the actual root of my problem is. But now I've expanded it to all zipper merges. So now I hate all of them. I'm just saying. I just want everyone to drive the same.
What if those people, haven't you ever like realized last minute, oh, I need to get off. This actually is my exit. You're somewhere new or something.
It's not that people all of a sudden realize they need to get off. It's the people that know that lane will go another mile and then they can go left and stay in traffic as opposed to getting off. You know what I mean? It becomes an exit only lane.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Misuse of the exit only lane.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes you merge onto the interstate and you merge into an exit only lane.
And then you have like only a little bit of time. And then there's a ton of people in that lane because they didn't get over.
So I do have to go past them on the right.
Yeah. There's a specific exit in downtown Seattle that it's like a mile. And everybody knows, and everybody rides it, and everybody makes everybody that's getting off on the exit wait because they haven't merged. And it, as somebody that's getting off on the exit, it makes me so freaking mad. Okay, let's get off of mine. Mara, what's your number 2 pet peeve?
My number 2, wow, is that yikes.
Mine's when people don't know what to say.
Yeah, no, this is my lead up. No, it's my lead up because it's when people trail off mid-sentence and they do not come back to the thought or logistical thing that they were in the middle of saying. And then they try to move on to the next sentence because they've either finished that sentence inside of their head and so they think the conversation or that sentence is done and everything has been figured out, but it has only happened inside their head. And I can't move on yet. What time are we meeting? I don't know. Because you said the end of that sentence in your head.
My dad is extremely guilty of this. Like
it's my mom.
It's your mom.
Yeah, this one's inspired by my mother. Thanks, Mom.
He'll be literally mid-sentence in the car and just stop talking. And then it'll be, I'll wait. I won't say anything.
Yeah.
I'll wait for like maybe 3 minutes. Because my dad and I can go a long time with silence. One time my mom freaked out at us because of it. We were silent. We were taking her to exercise and then we were going to go eat breakfast. And it was silent in the car. And my mom would every like 30 seconds bring up a topic of conversation. And then she was silent for 30 seconds after we answered her most recent question. And she said, now it's one of your two's turn to say something. And we were like, and then she got out in a huff. And when we picked her up, she said, so what'd you talk about at breakfast? And we said, nothing. We didn't talk. And she said, are you kidding? And we said, no. So anyway, yeah, I'll wait for like 5 minutes for my dad to say something, like finish his sentence, and he doesn't. And then he'll just say random signs he sees out loud. So he'll be like, I was thinking the other day, Denny's. Something like that.
No.
Do you ever ask him, like, are you going to finish the sentence?
Oh, yeah. And he'll be like, can't remember. I don't know. He's like,
wow.
Must not have been important.
Yeah. Whenever I ask my mom, I'm sure I do it less nice than you because I'm a little less patient. But she will tell me, at one point I was asking her to use her words like she was a toddler. So
I'm sure that went over so well.
Yeah, but then she would use it back on me when I would pause. She'd be like, okay, now use your words. I was like, oh, I can't even be angry because I deserve this.
You started it.
I don't think I could have a child. If I were like 50 and my like 20-year-old said, use your words to me, I'd probably be put in jail for like murder or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd be like, how dare you? Like,
I feel like I'm pretty fortunate that my mom didn't believe in, what is it? Corporeal punishment?
Corporal.
I like corporeal. She kind of believes that you'll get your punishment when you're a ghost. She doesn't need to do it now.
She probably does. Hell.
I don't know how I handle those situations. I think that I ask pretty quickly. I don't think I ask people to use their words, but I think I'm like, so are you going to finish that sentence? Or like, I'll guess what the end of the sentence is, to see if it's right.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a pet peeve of mine though.
I have another friend where I've had to be better about letting them finish their sentence. Because I used to try to finish it, and then that would lead to a lot of miscommunications with us, and unsurprisingly, would make both of us upset. So, and I haven't said use your words to my mom in a really long time. So yikes. But yeah, pretty rude thing for your child to say to your parent. Sorry, Mom.
I think every child like tests those boundaries to see how far they can get away. Even when we're like 30, we're still going to test those boundaries.
Yes.
We should probably just apologize to our parents every episode.
Every year. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad.
Okay, I remembered my number 2 pet peeve. It is, yay, thank you. It is anytime a technology doesn't work for me right away. I cannot explain the irrational anger I get, like when I'm trying to do something technological on the computer and like I can't figure it out within about 5 minutes on my first try. There are very few times I feel that rage, but that rage like comes over me and I really do want to break something. It's like the only time that I feel that very masculine, like, the testosterone is like flowing through me. And I'm like, God, like that wall looks so punchable right now, So
it's all of a sudden got a bullseye on it.
Yeah. So for me, it's not like, oh, my sports team lost. It's like, oh God, I can't figure out how to do this one thing on Excel, and I'm about to like take some glasses and smash them on the ground.
Yeah,
I have that
Respect.
a lot. Yeah.
Okay, that's my second one.
This week I was trying a new like method of throwing pottery, and I could not do something. And I like balled my fists up and I had to stop the wheel and I had to like breathe 3 times because I was so close to punching the plate. I was like, I'm going to lose my mind. And then my teacher, it wasn't like a class, but he happened to be in the building. And so I asked him if he could like come over and help me. He was like, oh, why don't I just watch you? And I was like, no, you're going to have to get in there. Like, I have reached my limit. I cannot show you, because if I do it wrong again and now there's somebody watching, I'm going to lose it. And so he got in there, and the first time he tried it, it was perfect.
Oh my God. Yeah.
How
that
did
was
you
how
really
to do
lose
it.
yours? All right,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
My number 2 is when you're hiking specifically, and people don't recognize that it's a shared path, and they will just plow through with their, specifically with dogs, but anybody that continues walking as if they have the entire space, and a human being is not walking up in the opposite direction, and you have to pass each other, and they just make you like fall into the bushes as opposed to just moving over half a foot. It tests all the patience in the world to not scream at them.
Sorry. It's giving both straight white male. I will take up the middle of the hallway and not get out of your way, as well as anybody who has lived the majority of their life in a small town and there's like just not much foot traffic in general. So I like the middle of the aisle. Yeah, this is good for me.
I will say, not all men it here, but I will point this out because it was such an anomaly that I took note of it the other week. I was walking, and there were 2, like, I assume they were straight white men, like walking on the sidewalk towards me. And I started move to the left to just get out of the way, because, you know, sometimes ain't nobody got time for that. And then they started moving to the left, and then we progressively, all 3 were just moving more and more to the left until we were both off the sidewalk. And it was like, I felt bad, because like, if there's 2 people and I'm one, like, I don't mind moving. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, move one person, not the 2. And I felt bad because so then eventually I went back on the sidewalk because it was clear they weren't giving up. And the 2 of them were like, basically in the street.
That's cute.
I'm noticing. Yes, Kara. I hope we keep in every time I call on you. I know no one can see you raise your hands, but maybe I can try and embody more of a like teacherly. Yes, Kara.
Teacherly. Yeah.
Teacherly. That's a word.
Yeah. Well,
teacherly. Teacherly.
Oh, you said teacherly.
No, I said teacherly.
Well, we have a record.
Yeah.
I have an error.
Hey, Grayson, please replay teacherly right now over and over again. We'll let the audience decide.
You
teacherly
can see how you mumble the letters together.
Teacherly. Try and embody more of a like teacherly. Try and embody more of a like teacherly. Try and embody more of a like teacherly. 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 Try and embody more of a like teacherly. Teacherly. This week, our top 3 sponsors. Number 3, Rachel Chi. Thanks for funding my coffee as I scheduled these podcasts. Grayson, number 2. You know, you'd think there would be no more ways to have audio hiccups while we record this, but nearly 6 months later, we're still finding ways. This week's number 1 sponsor is smoke alarms that need batteries replacing. Beep.
Okay.
Beep.
That was really hard. I didn't realize how much I was going to try to jump in. Every time you guys said something, I was like, man, I have so many corrections and things to make fun of. It's a toilet paper roll fairy. It doesn't just disappear. It's a fairy.
My bad.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
Elf on a Shelf.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Roll with a
The
hole.
laundry fairy.
Ooh. Yeah.
Well, it has, all rolls have holes.
How many holes do they have? 1 or 2?
1.
Get out. 1.
They have 1 hole. Well, I guess
Apparently
not, because you can
people-
go in one hole and out the other. Yikes.
No, it's the same hole.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because it's a continuous hole. I
No,
would say
because
it's
you could
1.
have 1 finger in one hole. Like if I had 1 on each side, you wouldn't say you have your fingers in the hole. You say
Yeah,
you
I
have your
would.
fingers in both holes.
No, I
No,
wouldn't.
you have your fingers in the hole.
I think that Swiss cheese has multiple holes. I think a toilet paper roll has one hole.
A straw, one hole.
No, if
One
you
hole.
dug a tunnel in the ground and you dug it in your yard and then you dug a tunnel and you came out onto someone else's yard, you would both have holes. There'd be 2 holes.
You would just unknowingly both be looking into the same hole.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not agreeing with you on this. It is one hole.
If you have a tunnel that a train is going through, you've got the east hole and the west hole.
You call it a tunnel. You don't say the tunnels.
No. It's one tunnel, but it's
When?
2 holes. That's what I'm saying.
No, it's one hole. Because the tunnel is a hole.
I'm looking
tunnel
up,
is the
does
absence
a
of
straw
space.
have one hole?
It has, Google says it has one hole.
One hole with 2 openings. So I guess you don't call it an opening. I'm just saying, if Bugs Bunny threw down 2 black circles on the ground and they connected, we'd say he put down 2 holes.
That's true, but that's inaccurate.
And they don't connect.
Yeah, no, they would connect because
She's
it's cartoon
assuming
world.
they connect. Yeah.
Okay.
Duh.
You know, where you like drop, like Daffy jumps
Yeah.
in one, he pops out the other.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit more sophisticated than that cartoon. So
It's because you weren't allowed to have cartoons as a child.
thank you.
Yeah.
It's
We'll
true.
forgive you for that.
Kara, did you do your number? Oh, you did your number 2, so we're on to our number 1s. Ma'ara.
What's
Okay.
your number 1 pet peeve?
When people die unexpectedly, like it's rude. Like, why you gotta do that?
Just like
I'd rather have you not.
Yeah, you go up to your grandma's funeral. They ask you to say a couple words. You start up with, "Can I just say, it was pretty annoying of her to not go to hospice or die slowly. I think it was pretty rude way to go, Grandma. That's all I have to say."
Yeah. No. Keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Keep it to yourself.
Yeah, people should
Die when we
announce
expect you
when
to.
they're dying. I would like that too.
Yeah. One last hug. I would like to know when that's happening.
That's a good number 1
It's
pet
also
peeve.
kind of like torture. Have you ever read Tuesdays with Maury? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Mary? Yeah. It's also
I
kind of
haven't read
torture
that.
if you know it's the end, you know?
Yeah.
It's torture
it would-
either way.
Yes, it is torture.
Yeah. Okay, Marion, what's your number 1 pet peeve?
My number 1. Anyone want to guess?
Yes, I do. Give me a second, though. Okay, well, this is very specific. When you're planning a group event and nobody offers to help or ever like steps up to do anything, and you end up planning the whole thing, and then everybody complains about it.
I would say
Like complains about the decisions made.
I would say more of the pet peeve is when somebody says they're going to do it and then they don't do it or they do it wrong. And then I have to like follow up and do the thing. But that's close. But no, my number 1 pet peeve is if somebody qualifies their apology. If they say, "Sorry if I." So like, "Sorry if I upset you." When I just told you upset me, that drives me nuts. Don't say if. It's not a question. It's not hypothetical. The only time you should use if is if like you do something and you're genuinely not sure if it was offensive or whatever, and the person hasn't brought it up or anything, and you go to them and you say, "Hey, I'm not sure if this did upset you, but if it did, I am so sorry." But no, like I have people in my life who like I'll say like, "Hey, this was like messed up." And they'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry if you thought that was messed up."
I'm literally communicating to you that I am upset.
Yeah, I don't like the like, it's a way to like alleviate for them. And I don't know that people do it consciously. Might be an unconscious thing. Sometimes it is, but I also think people genuinely like they've heard it themselves, whatever. They're on autopilot and they don't know that what they're doing is alleviating the responsibility and guilt by inserting if in there, so that now it's like a question.
I think you have to learn how to apologize as an adult, because I think like you're taught you're taught, you know, you're like 3, and I did this when I was teaching, but like if you have a 3 or 4-year-old and they like hit somebody and you make them apologize, like apologies aren't coming from a genuine place from a young age. So then the fact that you have to learn how to apologize after you've already been apologizing for years is like a whole thing. And there's definitely rights and wrongs ways of doing things. And like the way that I apologize to Marion might be different than the way that I apologize to Mara because of the way that certain things are heard or like interpreted. And that's just like, yeah, the if thing is pretty messed up. Or I think the other one I heard the other day was, I'm sorry that you're angry, or something like that. And they don't call it, they're not in the statement at all. And it's just like your feelings are there, and that sucks that you feel that way.
Yeah, I'm sorry that your feelings are hurt. Yeah.
I feel like when people say that, they're just like alleviating themselves. They're like getting rid of all guilt on their end. They're like, this is something that bothers you. I have no part in this.
Yeah. That one's like, they're not even trying. The sorry if I think people are trying. The sorry that, it's like they don't, that's not, like they're saying that's your problem, not my problem. And I'm not sorry, actually. That's something you say when you're not sorry at all. Yeah. It's, I'm sorry if I, and then if somebody said, I didn't know, that's it. Somebody says, oh, I didn't know that. But I can point their receipts where I told them or whatever. Like you changed it, Kara. So now you say, oh, I forgot, or I don't remember that. Because like what was killing me was somebody saying, I didn't know that, when like I remembered very specifically telling them, or I had the receipts of telling them. Like people do it all the time. They'll say, oh, I didn't know that. But that's not what they mean. They mean, I don't remember, or I forgot that.
Yeah.
And it was my biggest pet peeve is people like trying to alleviate the wrongdoing. Just own it. Just acknowledge it. Just own it.
Yeah.
What's your number one, Kara?
Do you want to guess my number one?
Was it the food?
The food?
Leaving bits of food?
No. That's not necessarily a pet peeve. It's like you eat it, so it's not. There are people that take it home that don't eat it. You at least eat it, so it's like worth the process.
What do I think yours is?
You know, nothing's coming to mind.
All right, you'll immediately know it. So my number one pet peeve is ticking clocks. I knew you were going to react like that. My grandparents had not even a grandfather clock. It was one that they selected as adults. So it's not like a family heirloom or anything. It's just this little cute, like 2 foot by 2 foot clock that they had in their living room. And I used to sleep over there when I was a kid. And I would sleep in the living room. And so it would just like tick, 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 tick for your entire life. And then at every top of the hour, it would like count the numbers, right? So it'd go ding, 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 and count out if it was 9 p.m., 10 p.m., whatever. So then I would know how long I haven't been sleeping. And it like sent me into, I think I almost had a nervous breakdown as a child. And then Marion also had clocks that would tick in her bedroom, and it didn't bother her at all.
I had a specific collection. I was collected clocks, and I had about like almost 20 in my room at one point, and many of them ticked.
Yeah, all at different times too. And then you had a glow in the dark one, and I slept on your top bunk when I was over at your house.
What were we? We were maybe 15, and I still had a bunk bed. And I had this big neon blue light, like clock light, and I had it on every night as my night light because I was still scared of the dark. And one day you slept over, and you had slept over many, many times, and you slept over and you said, I can't stand it anymore. And you took the clock and you slammed it down so that the blue light like couldn't be shown anymore. And I just never picked it back up. I said, okay, I guess I should start sleeping in the dark. I just left it.
You're welcome. Yeah, I vividly remember that because I was like, it had been building for like 4 years at that point, and I was like, I'm done. This is enough. I've dealt with this for too long.
I still like, I don't have, Matt like hates the bedroom because like in the morning, I don't have any blinds or shades on any of the windows. So in the morning,
Savage.
I mean, that's how it was when we lived in Minneapolis together too. Like in that room, I had that huge window.
Yeah, I do. I remember.
And I didn't have anything covering it because I don't mind the light at all. Like it doesn't affect my sleeping, or it helps me wake up. And yeah, Matt like puts two pillows over his face in the morning.
Poor Matt.
I know.
If I die, I die. Let me suffocate.
I'd rather die than sleep in the light.
I
can't believe you have no curtains.
I know.
Like you're getting dressed, you're like,
oh yeah, Matt hates
people
that.
are just watching
you know, there are two types of people: the people who have nude neighbors and people who are the nude neighbors. Yeah, I'm the nude neighbor.
You are the nude neighbor,
but
I'm the nude neighbor as well.
We did used to have a curtain up there, but Matt has this weird thing. I don't know if it's because he doesn't rent a lot, but he doesn't understand that you can put holes in the wall for like anchors and nails. And so like we put this rod up to put curtains up there. And when we did, he absolutely refused to use anchors. And I was like, that's not going to last. It's not going to work. There's no studs there. And our cats like pulled it down, I don't know, like a year in. And it fell a bunch. And he would try and put the nails back in, but it would always fall out. And I was like, well, you need an anchor. And he absolutely refuses. And so now it's just the curtains are still on the floor, like in front. Like you just never, again, I never move them. Okay. The clock one is really good. That was very good.
Yeah. It was my number. Like when we decided to do this topic, I immediately wrote it down and didn't come back to the list for like 3 weeks. And I was like, I already know. This is not a question in my mind.
Nothing will top this. This was secretly just a way for me and Kara to talk about things that the other one has done.
It's a way to make the general public uncomfortable with our relationship.
Yeah.
That's literally the whole point of this podcast, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
I feel like this is the one. I feel like we really nailed it this time.
And per usual, I'm trying to avoid confrontation or conflict. Just pick something else.
Oh
no, you held your own this time.
I tried.
Yeah, you were like, it's employment.
Employment?
Or something. I don't remember. With her number 1 was your number 3.
Yeah, and the whole situation.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, good job.
And teacherly.
Let's do points.
Teacherly.
Let's do points.
Yeah.
-1 to Kara for not understanding that pubes fall out.
We haven't confirmed that. -1 to both of you because there is no law in the books that Grayson found that you have to zipper merge. It's not a law.
No, there are
it's
laws in certain states. I also looked it up.
Well,
do your own research. -1 to
states?
you for not doing your own research and relying on someone else.
I was on a podcast.
Me too.
Yeah, well, I can hear you typing. So -1 to you for listening to your typing.
Wow.
Wait, what states are they?
-1 to Missouri is one of them.
Which we've never lived in.
Anyway,
No.
let's just -1 to Mara for copying my pet peeve.
-1 to Marion for saying my first number 1 before.
-1 to Mara for the sentence.
Okay.
Are there any points we want to give?
Pro points? Yeah, I think Mary and yours were all very good and unique. Point for you.
Thank you.
Mara, point for holding your own on the tube situation, the whole situation.
Thank you. I need to start taking notes about when I want to subtract and add points because then I get asked and nothing. My brain is completely empty.
It sounds like we have a tiebreaker between me and Mara. Let's Grayson write to Kara your number 1 pet peeve. Mara and I will try and get closest. It'll decide the winner.
Ugh.
I have WhatsApp open, Gray, if you want to use that.
I think this is going to be difficult for both of us.
I know.
Maybe write a couple, Grayson, and we'll write 3, and if we get one of them, that'd be good, or somewhere near one.
I don't even know if I would know this. Wait! Don't send it, Mara. Until Grayson texts me. Okay.
I guess I gotta type.
Yeah, you have to hit go.
Well, we can't.
You can get a couple
Say it.
guesses. You can guess 3 things,
Okay.
Mara.
Wow. I'm not going to read that whole thing out, but nice. Grayson's number 1 pet peeve is not all people, but there are some people that when they chew with their lips open, it makes him want to commit genocide.
Were you in the middle of typing another one, and what was it?
I wasn't. There's not a lot of things that I would call a pet peeve in terms of like just so annoying that I can't even.
Which of these?
I think that you have one with the styrofoam, when the 2 pieces of styrofoam.
Oh, but that's not really a pet peeve so much as it is like misophonia. Like I just want to throw myself off a building to get away from it.
Yeah.
Let's just do a number situation. Grayson, pick a number between 1 and 7. And
Chat it to
Marion
me.
and I will.
Can we do something
write one
higher
down.
than that? 1 and 7.
No. There's plenty
You
of
can
choices
pick
there.
the range, Grayson.
Okay, fine.
Choose 1 to 7.
Okay.
1 to 8.
We're gonna do between 7 and 36.
Okay. You have it?
Yeah, he texted it to me.
3, 2, 1.
Oh. Okay.
Oh.
Well, I was actually going to say 32, but that's fine.
The answer is 36. Mara wins.
Damn it.
Hey. I said 33 for our listeners.
And
I love
Marion said
33.
nothing for the listeners.
I didn't know. She didn't count down or anything. She didn't tell me we were
She
typing.
did. She said 3, 2, 1,
But she
go.
didn't say, hey, are you done? Are you typing it? She just said 3, 2, 1 out of nowhere. We got the audio for it. There was no confirmation on my end whatsoever.
That's true.
I want to redo. I want to redo.
No.
Yeah. Redo.
We're done it. It's 9:42. I'm going to bed. This is over. I win. Goodbye.
Accept
Mara
your loss.
out.
Oh, I thought you took your headphones out. I thought you were like, I'm literally done.
I do not accept this technicality win.
Classic. Every time Marion loses at a game of 0 specifically, she always has an excuse.
You say this at the end of every podcast. Yes.
Oh, that's my thing. Yeah,
there's-
I'm just going to remind everybody.
I have a reason for losing because there's always a reason or a technicality, and this is one of them. All right, this has been my top everything. Thanks for listening.
You
I'm
still
your
would've
host
lost.
and winner. I'm your host and winner.
Oh,
These are your little losers.
I'm just going to talk over you because you are not the winner.
Okay, I mean you're talking
We
over
can't.
your own outro because I already did myself. So, okay, this has been my top everything. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Listen, I have a proposal that we cut the pube conversation
No.
because Grayson's parents are going to be listening because Grayson's been talking about it nonstop.
No.
But it's going to be over an hour.
The pube conversation's important.